Okay. So how many of you guys have ever been unfortunate enough to get a flat tire? I know I have, and they're usually at the most inconvenient times. I'm the kind of person that if I can pay for something to get done for me, I will do it. So you can bet that I have roadside assistance. Now, when I was thinking about what to do for the demonstration, I wanted to do something that I didn't know how to do. So I decided to learn how to change a tire in the event that I, for some reason, can't pay for AAA anymore. So today, you too will learn how to change a tire. Okay, so the first things, obviously for changing a tire, you need your materials. So first and foremost, you need a spare tire. When maintaining a spare tire, they're pretty simple to sit in the back of your car. And some, they're under like a pad in your trunk. To maintain them, all you have to really do is check for their PSI. You're going to need your pressure gauge. And usually, like on the rim, the inner rim, or like in the middle or the inner rim, there's going to be the recommended PSI that the manufacturer writes in there. And in order to check it, you're just going to need to get the pressure gauge and put it on the pressure nipple, which it's up there. And I don't know if the nipple is a proper word, but I couldn't find a different word for it. So it's the tire nipple for now. There's also the tire iron, which is going to loosen your lug nuts. There's this one here, which is just one size, and that one's a 4.1, and that has just 4 different sizes for the different lug nuts that they make. Those tools on the side are air pressure tools. They're not commonly used for the everyday person. You usually see them at mechanic shops, or if you've ever seen NASCAR, when they're at the pit stops and if you ever heard the zzz, that's what they're doing. They're just unscrewing the lug nuts on the tire. Okay, then you need your jack, which just lifts up the car. With a jack, just make sure it's not obviously disfigured or broken, and then you're also going to need your leverage bar. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do when you're changing your tire is loosening up the lug nuts. So you're going to need your tire iron. And so for people like me who are small and don't have a lot of strength, you can do as the picture says with your 4-point and step down on it and pull up. It's easier to do with the 4-point. You can do it with the just the one that you saw earlier. But if you don't have enough strength, that's how you do it. And just go ahead and loosen them all. Don't take them off yet. Just loosen them so you can later take them off with your hands. Once you loosen your lug nuts, you're going to need your car jack. You want to place it under the car. Make sure it's under the metal frame of the car. You don't want to mess up your car or dent your car, so make sure it's under a hard metal frame. And when you're lifting it up, you just want to lift it up enough to where most of the pressure is off the tire. So you saw earlier that there was a leverage bar with your jack. Most have a little hole that you can pull it in through. It's I don't want to say common sense, but it's obviously there. So with that one you see right there, you have to just crank it in circular motion. There are other jacks that you can push up and down like this. And as I said before, just lift it enough so that the tire is off. Once you do finally lift it off, then you can proceed to remove the lug nuts manually. Now when you do remove your lug nuts, make sure you put them in a safe place. Put them in your pocket, I recommend. Now let's say, for whatever reason, you decide to put them on the top of your car. And then all of a sudden you hear a loud bang, and you get scared, and you hit the car, and your lug nuts roll into the road or into a pond, and they're lost. So what do you do in that situation? I learned that what you can do is you can remove one lug nut off of the remaining 3 tires to attach your spare tire. So now if you do, for whatever reason, lose your lug nuts, you're still okay. So after you remove your lug nuts, you can proceed to actually take off the spare tire. Just put it off to the side somewhere. Doesn't really matter, it's flat anyway. Then you can take your new tire that hopefully you've already checked and made sure it has the correct pressure in it, and put it on. What you want to do is make sure that it's aligned. If you see it in the cartoon over here, these would be the little bolts. Normally a spare tire will have little holes, and you want to make sure you align it with those when you push it onto the axle. Once you do have it on there, then you're going to replace the lug nuts just manually for now with your hands. And then once those are on and your tire's on, then you can proceed to lower the car. On the jack that you saw earlier where you crank it in a rotating motion, you are going to just have to counterclockwise it, or the opposite way that you turn it to crank it, and it'll lower. On the one that you pump up and down like this, I was told that you can just turn it a little bit to the left, and it will just lower on its own, slowly on its own. So don't freak out; it's not just going to fall. Once the car is back onto the ground, you're going to proceed to get your tire iron again, and then just tighten the lug nuts as far as you can. If you have the 4-point, again, you can use most of your weight, and that'll help with you. Yeah, so now you guys know how to change a tire. In the event that, one, you lose your cell phone, you can't call your AAA, maybe you can't even afford AAA, or maybe you don't have a cell phone, and you get a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, or maybe you just don't want to wait for 2 hours for them to come, and you have a job interview you need to go to. Now you guys know how to change your tire.